In this video, I'm going to talk about why I don't use Linux. So I just did a video about how Microsoft's requirements for Windows 11, specifically the actual enforcement of hardware requirements, is going to force people to buy new computers. Um, that video created largely a conversation I didn't expect. Um, so as a result of that, I'm making this video. On this video, I'm going to talk about why I don't use Linux, and the reasons that I don't use Linux, I think, will resonate with a lot of other people, because I think the reasons that I have are probably pretty similar to a lot of other people. Um, so, and I am going to say, I'm probably going to try it. I might even do a video of me trying it. So the first reason that I don't use Linux, I'm going to be honest. I'm I'm not lazy. It's not that I am lazy in general. It's that I have my time occupied with a lot of other things. And the simple fact is, in order for me to use Linux, I'm gonna have to go. I know how to install it. I've got that all figured out. Once I install it, though, every single thing that I do on a day-to-day basis with my computer, every single task that I normally do is suddenly going to become a learning experience. And look, you can say, oh, you should always be learning something new, but I don't necessarily. I've got this whole setup here. Everything works perfect. I've got everything set up exactly the way I want it to. And for me to even start to switch to Linux, it's going to be every single time I go to do something, I'm going to have to say, okay, I got to figure out how to do this with Linux before I can even do this task. And for some of you guys, that's great. That's great. But for a lot of people don't want to. I mean, you're not talking about 15 minutes of effort here, okay? It's going to take me quite a bit of effort. And look, I get it. Okay, Cyberpunk 2077. I want to go play Cyberpunk 2077. I'm sure that's a game that can be played on Linux. And those of you who are already playing this stuff on Linux, you know how to do it. That's great. That's wonderful. You think you sit there and you hear this dumb guy on YouTube saying, "Oh, I'm going to have to figure out how to do that." In your brain, that's install the game, click a couple of buttons, you're done, you're good to go. That's not the position I'm in. I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to have to learn how to do that. And maybe I will, but I don't necessarily have the time for it right now. Another reason that I'm not using Linux, and this ties into similar to what I was just talking about, is that there's going to be some things that I am either not going to be able to do the way that I do right now, or I'm not going to be able to do at all. I don't know which of those. I don't know which things that is going to be. I'm not going to know that until I go start it. Start doing it. I don't know. For example, my if I truly switch over to Linux, on most, if not all, of my computers, or at least as my primary OS. A great example is going to be my capture rig. Okay, so something tells me, and again, maybe someone's going to tell me I'm totally wrong here, that it's just you plug it in and it works. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be somebody that tells me that I'm stupid, but something tells me that my capture rig with my 3 Elgato sound cards in it, or my 3 Elgato capture cards in it, something tells me it's not going to be as simple as just throw Linux on it, plug my HDMI cable in, and start capturing away like nothing changed. I don't see it as being that easy. I suspect each of my games to some degree is going to need to be individually troubleshot. Can I play Fortnite on Linux? I don't know. Can I? I don't know. And that's the thing. There's a lot of question marks there, and I just don't have time to erase those question marks. I don't have time for it right now. Um, and I'm in a position where most of what I'm doing on my computer, like, it's not mission critical. It's not like my livelihood depends on it or something. This YouTube channel, you can see I've got just under 2,000 subscribers as of when this video is made. This is just kind of a hobby project for me. But there's people out there who it's way bigger than that. They're unable to make things that they have to have work for their workflow work with Linux. And so I wanted to start giving There seems to be just this attitude from people who do use Linux of, well, there's a solution to that. Just use Linux. And I'm not denying Linux can be a solution. And for many people, Linux would be a perfect solution. I mean, I would say the majority of computer users out there are pretty base. The majority of PC users out there are people who literally do everything in a browser window. Like literally all they do is stuff in a browser. They're not doing video editing, they're not doing photo editing, they're not running Premiere, Photoshop, Lightroom, they're not gaming, they're not doing any sort of specialty engineering, CAD work, none of that. That's probably like 90+% of your users. And for those people, I mean, hell, for those people, a Chromebook would do the trick. But that's just not the case for everyone. It's not the case for probably a lot of people watching this channel. So anyway, I hope that gives you kind of an insight. And I'm just going to reiterate, I don't hate Linux. I don't think it's a bad option. I'm going to start exploring it, but it's not an immediate solution to the problem. And so I kind of just wanted to talk about that. So anyway, thanks for watching the video.